Running fans, jumping fans, stalling fans, all around athletics fans, welcome to Talking in Ovals. How's everybody doing out there on this Monday, September 9th, 2024 for episode number 105? My partner in crime, you are back. Dave, what's up, brother?
Not much. Just loving these last few weeks of Diamond League. We had the mile the other day that Josh Kerr ran 3:44 in New York. Crazy. I mean, it's just sick. 3:44, and that's after running
the road race.
Yeah,
it was fantastic, and we're just gearing up for the start of XC, so we're excited for that. Just want to say hello to everybody who's watching out there. If you're on YouTube, Facebook, X, we appreciate you. Spread this word of mouth. Go give us a follow, a subscription, like everything out there. And here's the thing: comments and likes incredibly important. If you give us a like on YouTube, that helps push us up. You give us a comment, that helps push us up. So all those things matter. So just those little things right there help the show. If you enjoy what you watch, if you enjoy what you hear, those are massive for us. So please, that would be great, so we can have all of our great guests tell their stories to a wider audience. And if you want to find us on the socials, just go search at Talking in Ovals.
And I want to thank my partner, Alex. This is very hard for him because he's watching his old new shiny toy on the New York Jets.
I will be distracted.
Tried to lead them in Aaron Rodgers. So thank you for finding time for us.
On opening night for the game. And hey, listen, I will put it out there right now. Coaching staffs that play a soft zone on 3rd and 19 and allow a first down should be fired immediately from the box because they suck. Anyway, I digress on that.
I'm a Giants fan, so I got nothing.
I mean, we're supposed to be good, though. You guys are the Giants this year. Anyway, no football talk. We're going to get into track and field. Just before we get into all the fun stuff, early registration for the 3rd annual River Rock and Run 5K. Adam Nalvin, our buddy. Saturday, November 16th is going on. Run the new and improved 5K. You can either do it with a single person. You could do it as teams and pass a baton, which is pretty cool during a 5K. And you're going to get great post-race food. There's going to be some drinks. And the best part is 100% of the proceeds go to the Monmouth and Ocean County Food Bank right before Thanksgiving. So go run, feel better, go do it for a great cause. All of it works out well. So please go there. Last week's guest, we had a great time. You couldn't be there, unfortunately, but I had the pleasure of talking to the top-ranked high school jumper in the country and one of the top 5 sprinters in the country, Cordial Van. Fantastic young man. He just 25 feet 6 inches in the long jump, 10.2 400, and give up football in order to focus on track and field.
Yes, he did.
We need to give more praise to individuals that are going to give up a sport that they love to come to track and field. So Cordial, go back and give that a lesson. Follow that young man. He's going to be special in his career.
I listened back. Great episode. I mean, just fantastic conversation. What a great kid, and his future is so bright.
It's so much fun, and we're going to follow him, and we're going to have a great time. Yeah. So we're going to jump in right away now with our episode today because we are bringing back the one, the only, the man, the myth, Jim Lambert. Veteran track and field reporter, New Jersey MileSplit. Jim, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, guys? Alex, Dave, good to be back with you guys. I love being referred to as a veteran reporter because it's just such a nice way of saying old. It's really the nicest way of saying
you're only as old as you feel, Jim, and you are vibrant and full of life.
I will bring back the first time when we called you legendary, okay? We'll keep it as a legendary. But the thing to me, legendary means ancient, so at least veteran is
yeah. We could go with, also older and faster. That's the beautiful thing about getting older is you get into the different age groups.
Yes.
When you get into a road race. Like right now, my goal is to be the world record holder over 100 years old in a 100-meter dash. If I can stay alive for another 42 years, I got it. I just have to stay at the speed I'm at now.
There are guys out there running,
and I will destroy it. I don't know what it is, but I will crush it.
So you need to be ready for the Penn Relays then, because the Penn Relays is where it always happens. And I was over at the Penn Relays where I forget what the individual's name is, but the 100-meter record was set I think the person was like 103. And I think they ran it in like 29 seconds, 26 seconds. It's incredible to be able to.
You can walk 100 meters at that age. It's ridiculous.
I don't know if I want to live to over 100. Okay, like that's a daunting thing to even want to get that far. But
well, that's my goal. That's my goal. Break every world record when I'm 100. I just gotta, eat healthy.
We all have aspirations.
If I can walk when I'm 100, that's gonna be my goal. Walk.
Mine's breathing. Mine is breathing.
Breathing, yeah, being there. So now that we're done being fun and morbid, we're going to jump into some of our track and field stuff. So before we get into our New Jersey track and field and cross country talk, I want to jump first to the pros. So upcoming Diamond League meet, it was widely reported that Sydney McLaughlin-Lervone is going to run the 200 and 400, competing in the Diamond League finals. She was entered in, accepted by the meet. Oh, go ahead, Dave.
No, I was going to say, in her mind, she was running this.
No. It was announced by the meet.
Oh.
The meet itself, the director of the meet announced it, saying that she was going to be entered in. It was the commissioner of the Diamond League that came down and said, nope. And this was a day later. So the one day they announced, I think it was like last week around like Wednesday or something, they announced it. And it was a big hype. She's going to run the 2 and the 4.
Yeah.
And after that, though, I think the next day or 2 days later, the commissioner comes out and says, no, there's a hard, fast rule that you have to compete at least once in each event at the Diamond League in order to be entered in for the final. Now, they eventually caved a little, and they added a 4 and a 200. That's not a Diamond League final, but Sid's going to be competing there, which I think is the best ending.
I guarantee they're putting some money in those non-Diamond League races too.
Of course. So here's the thing. I'm going to start off with you, Jim. What's your opinion about the Diamond League staying hard and fast to their rule first off?
Well, I get it. I mean, there are rules in place so you can get, the best athletes to compete in the Diamond League meets. Yeah. Makes sense. But we're trying to grow the sport. And, we were talking before off air about, Mondo Warholm and, the
100.
Yeah, and 100 and all the publicity that generated. And, that's great for the sport. Things like that need to happen. You look what Michael Johnson's doing now with the track league, Grand Slam.
Big news today with that too.
Those are the things that are going to build the sport. And what better way to help build the sport than take the greatest track and field athlete right now in the world and put her in the big races that everybody wants to see? Who doesn't want to see her in a 2 and a 4 and go after that American record, in the 4 that she's so close to? It's a rule, but all right, it's time to change the rule. It's time to think big picture, the long game, the sport. I mean, get a couple separate races. I love to see the runners that are in a Diamond League 2 and a 4 say, hey, we want to run against Sydney. We want to be in that race.
But they don't.
No. Well, to answer your question, Alex, I get the rule. I don't like the rule because that rule is preventing us from seeing what everybody wants to see, what all track and field fans around the world want to see. The big stars competing on the biggest stages, chasing records. You want to capitalize on the momentum from the Olympics. Yeah. And, now we're just going to see another race where she's just going to, blow out whoever's in there and run against the clock. And track and field's about competition. And we're not going to see what, like I said before, what everybody wants to see.
Can you put her in the men's 4?
She would get blown out there, unfortunately. There are very few times where Sid would get blown out. She would get blown out in like the men's high school 400. I'm sorry.
My whole take is I get that there's rules, but I also get what Jim's saying. Like, if Sydney McLaughlin calls you and says, listen, I might not have run any of the meets, but I want to come to your meet. What meet director says no? That's the part. Or where was the communication with the meet director and the director of the Diamond League? Why does it even have to come out? Like,
I'd imagine they give them enough leeway that they can kind of create their own rules and their own things. And then when they saw that, so here's the thing. Here's where people that are frequently to the show might call me a hypocrite. I love that the commissioner came out and said, no, you need to race. Sydney McLaughlin-Lervone, you need to race, because I am tired of watching her pick and choose. I am tired of Coach Kersey watching her pick and choose. Race. Get on the track. And I get it. It's working. She's still the most dominant. You know what, though? I like the rule, though, because all those other athletes on the line worked their ass off and at least raced once in the Diamond League and a bunch of them multiple times to qualify there. That's like everyone complains. Conor McGregor comes back in the UFC. He gets a championship fight right away, right? It's annoying and people hate it. You'll watch it, but people hate it. And even then, Conor has to come back and fight a few fights before he can get there, right? This hopefully will force Sid to race. Because it's a penalty for not racing. I'm okay with it.
I usually see your point, but I think she's just like a different level of athlete that yes, I am a teacher and you're not supposed to treat anyone different than anyone else, but we all do in certain things, like Jim hit the nail on the head. This is what we need to make the sport bigger. I don't care if she didn't run any other meets. Would I like to see her race more? Yes. But I mean, to me, there has to be common sense has to prevail here. And yes, there are different rules for different people. Ask any NFL locker room, they will tell you the same thing. Ask Bill Parcells about Lawrence Taylor. He had his own rules because he was that good. Sometimes when you're that good, I don't know. I see both sides, but when it's Sydney McLaughlin-Lervone, who is she running against now? Do we even know?
Good for her. You made your bed, though. Sydney McLaughlin-Lervone, you made your bed. If you really wanted to run in the finals in these events, you could have come off your throne and run a 200 and then run a 400 at a different meet. I'm sorry. It's one race per meet that she had to do.
I think there should be, if you win the Olympics or you're a world record holder, you get a pass. Just like you do for the world championships.
Maybe in your event. But I don't know. For me, the Diamond League is trying to be the premier league of track and field. They need to have standards. And if they sit there, they're not the LA Grand Prix. They're not the New York Grand Prix. Michael Johnson's not going to let them do that in the Grand Slam.
Yeah,
I guarantee he won't let them do it.
Absolutely.
I don't think he will because he's a
Sydney McLaughlin calls them and says, I want to earn your meet. Well, first of all, she calls, she's in. Yeah, I mean, she's already signed up for that. And we also have Cole Hocker and Yared Naguse signed with Michael Johnson.
I get what Alex, I get what you're saying 100%. A rule like this, you'll look ahead and say, all right, it'll spark more athletes to compete in a Diamond League meets so that this doesn't happen. And
Sydney doesn't care.
Right. Well,
but the Diamond League also doesn't need Sid. Like we forget here, that's in Europe. Europe already loves track. They're selling those events out. They're making money.
Every meet needs Sid.
No, they don't. Not the Diamond League.
Every meet.
United States, sure.
Every meet.
These Grand Prix, they need them. They are selling out. As long as Mondo there, as long as Carsten Warholm's there, as long as Jakob's racing and their stars in Europe are there, they don't care if the Americans come there. The Americans can stay doing their own thing.
I don't think so. I think everybody wants Sid there.
I think I agree with you, Dave. I think when she's racing, it gets the attention of everyone in the world. The casuals in our country that wake up every 4 years and care about track and field, and they go back to sleep for 4 years. But when they find out that she's running, they wake up again. Right. And like I said, you want to build that momentum off the Olympics. And I think that in our country, I mean, you're 100% right, Alex. Europe, they don't need to market the sport the way we do. No. But this was an opportunity for the whole world to see the best we're seeing. Like Dave said before,
I'll also argue
about the LT rules, the Jordan rules. Yeah. We haven't had a situation like this before because we haven't had an athlete like this before. So different athlete. I just feel like this will probably spark.
Listen, and I also think, if I'm being honest, you're not asking the right person's question because I have a big bias being from New Jersey. And
me too.
Watching her, but like coaching Washington High School and watching her run. I don't know if I'm giving you the most honest opinion because I want to see her run. So I assume that everybody does. And I don't want to not see her run because of some silly rules, but they're not silly.
Also argue against your point a little, Jim. Sid does not have that draw. To us, she does because she's a world record holder. She's not outspoken enough in the sport. If Noah and Sha'Carri are there, they are a bigger draw because they put themselves out there. Sid likes to do her talking on the track. That works if you're on the track, though. If Sydney was out there racing every other week, every third week, and people were seeing her and she was hawking those records constantly, sure. But right now she races 4 times a year. And we know she is.
Yeah. As Dave said before, that's what works for her. Some people need to race a lot to be sharp. She's obviously proven she doesn't need to.
Yep.
They have a training plan and they follow it. And
if I was her, I wouldn't change a single thing.
No, of course not.
Sydney McLaughlin doesn't need to change it. I'm just not mad at the Diamond League for upholding a standard.
That's fair.
And I also think that as track and field fans, New Jersey people and track junkies, we oversell how important Sid is and how nobody knows who Sydney McLaughlin-Lervone is in the sports world. I'm telling you right now. They know, they might say she's the fast hurdler. I don't think they know. Now they know Noah. They know Noah. You'll say Noah Lyles. They know exactly who he is.
I don't know. Sid's got a lot of commercials. She's on TV a lot.
She's out there just as much. She's just like you said before. She's not outspoken. She lets her times and performances speak for themselves. He's never going to be pounding her chest like Lyles. And I mean, those guys are great for the sport. They have different personalities.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that she doesn't race a lot, but she wants to race here. And
that's the thing. She wants to race here in the USA, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And hopefully now with this new league, that'll be an opportunity, and she will race more. She even says that I don't want to go over to Europe to have to race. I
agreed. I think it's great that she's staying home, and I think a lot of athletes are going to jump on the opportunity to stay home.
Yes,
definitely.
So I'm excited. I like that. I liked our little round table there.
I just hate the fact that as track fans, we're not going to see those races. It's a track fan of me talking, and I get the rules. Like we've beaten it to, kind of gone over it a few different times. Who knows if 6 months ago everyone knew all these rules, because it seems like a surprise to the meet director or whoever put it out that she's running in those races.
I do think it has.
So it wasn't part of it might not have been part of the long-term plan, because this rule didn't really surface until after it was announced that she was going to run it, and then everyone.
I wonder if anyone's ever tried it. I wonder if anyone's ever tried entering into the final of the Diamond League without ever competing in the Diamond
League. Probably not the final. I mean, I know
final, so that's a difference here.
I know that there has been a rule in place where you have to accumulate some Diamond League points to be able to run.
Mm-hmm. And I think it would be kind of crappy if they said, yes, Sydney, you can race, but if you win, you don't get the million. Like second place gets the million. So is second place really going to get it? You know what I mean? Would that feel good for them? To sit there and there's a chance Sid sweeps, right? Like she's a monster. Now, don't get me wrong. She might lose in the 2 because the 2's out of her wheelhouse. So it's not like she's a shoo-in. 400, she has a good shot at winning. But if you're the second place lady there and you're still the winner, is that going to feel great as Sid just goes there? And there's kind of the.
Yeah, I think that, I do think that Jim's right. This probably came on sudden from Sid. She maybe planned on stopping after the Olympics. I was like, you know what? I feel good. Let's go run. I don't know.
Exactly. I feel good. Hey, let's go racing. Let's jump in those races.
I put this
on knowing that this was going to happen.
I put this on Sid and Coach Kersey more than I put it on Diamond League, though, because if you thought that you might have wanted to do this, go jog. Or go jog a 200 and 400. Probably win both of those in the Diamond League in whatever meet, and then you have your spot in the final because you're Sid at that point.
But also they might also not have had that conversation until
maybe not
post Olympics and said, hey, I want to keep this going, extend the season, go after some other records. Who knows how that all went down, but
hey, you know what now? Watching Sydney get the 400-meter record on her own is going to be even sweeter, right? When she breaks the 400-meter record as a training run, it's going to be even better. So, and Dave can come over here and go, see, she should have been in the final. Look at that. She set the record anyway, blah, blah, blah.
That's right.
Because that's what he does.
It could definitely happen.
Oh, yeah. With her, she's a monster. So, I want to get into the nitty-gritty now because we got into our fun little Sid talk. Let's talk outdoor track and field. New Jersey outdoor track and field. So we will get into your predictions a little bit later into this part, but I want to start off with what were some of your biggest surprises that you saw this year in outdoor track and field? How did it round up?
Surprises. I knew we had guys that could drop real fast times in the mile, 1600.
Right.
I didn't expect 2 guys to go break the meet a champion record. The way Passion Shoot did. I was surprised at just how far they dropped and took it, 404. That was one of the greatest races in state history. So
And it was cool because Chris Marco was actually there. He just happened to be there, and he handed out the award, and they broke his record.
And that was fun having Marco on the show not too long after that to talk about the experience. Like, it was kind of perfect timing there.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things went the way we had expected. Siani win in the sprints. I think the way Natalie Dumas from Eastern came on, like, holy smokes. I mean, she just kept PRing every single race. The Open 4, I mean, what she did with the triple gold, the Meet of Champions. I mean, we knew she was good, but to drop her PRs the way she did and just dominate the 4, and then she came back and ran the 4x4 in the splits she ran. Like, the fact that she was looked at as a star in the rise, I think it came a little quicker. Like, that she put herself right at the very, very top of the elite in the state. So I was a little surprised at how quickly she ascended to being, the superstar that she is.
Definitely.
The throws, Jess Oji coming back from her knee surgery, put her out a lot, where she couldn't even spin for a while at the end of indoors. Got to spin back and got to meet and then threw bombs. I mean, in the disc and the shot. Her recovery was amazing. If you ask her and her coaches, they felt that she could come back, but there's always doubt when you come back from injury. So
sure.
Coming back is one thing, but can you come back and be dominant and be who you were and improve, right? And she came in, and kudos to her for putting in the work and believing, right? Because battling through injuries is tough. And especially when you're as talented and how tight the competition usually is when you're at her level. And just to sit there and believe in yourself and still spin and still do it all with, the violence you need to do it in order to do a good throw. So, it's credit to everyone involved there, because it's not just the athlete. It's coaching properly. It's the athletic training. It's whatever rehab facility she was at pre to that. And it's the parents as well. All credit to everyone involved for getting her to where she was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, another surprise, too, is just how fast the girls' sprints were. I mean, my gosh. I mean, every time you looked up, the Timber Creek duo, they kept trading, state leading times, all-time times, like right at the very, very top. And I mean, every single time they raced, I was like, it was just mind-boggling how far they dropped. They climbed up the all-time list. I mean, it was just one of the greatest seasons ever for the girls' sprints. I mean, I don't think we all saw that coming that fast.
No way.
No,
not at all. So what kind of went as you thought was going to go?
I think that there was a lot of it, right? Yeah. It kind of went how it was.
Almost everything was the chalk. I mean, we talked about it. We came on and did something before the outdoor season, and we looked at all the favorites. Emma Zawatsky, Paige Shepard, Tiani Wynn. I mean, just go down the list of Meet a Champ winners. OG, the guys. I mean, what Malachi James did, I don't think was a huge surprise. We looked at what he did indoors, and we talked during a different episode about how he had the capability of taking down, that state record in 100. And we know all about what happened with the wind gauge not being set up at the sectional meet.
Sectionals,
insane, right? But
that was one of the greatest storylines we've had in the state in many years. Just his pursuit of that state record and just praying that the wind wouldn't be over.
But just to say though, like, he owes a lot to talking in ovals, because there was a legendary podcaster up in the booth at that time. We're not talking about Phil Grove. We are talking, and Phil, we love you as well, but we're talking about the one, the only Dave Hyatt up there.
And to be on the call.
The best part about it was, though, Dave, it was when you were kind of like figuring it out too, and like you were having fun up there, and then all of a sudden it happens, and it was actually a pretty damn good call with you and Phil. It's pretty cool to be there.
Phil was great.
Phil's fantastic. He's a pro. But so we're pumped for Malachi, and that was a cool thing to be a part of there.
Jim, one thing
I was going to say, it was just disappointing again that we were missing so many top athletes again.
Just going to ask that exact question.
With the scheduling conflict, we didn't see, the great duel. We want to see Paige Shepard against either Clemmy Lilly in the 8. We didn't get those matchups.
32,
Yeah. I mean, we're missing a lot of that star power, but thankfully, that's not going to happen next year. I'm sure you guys saw the story right after. Well, it happened to Meet of Champions. Al Stump had told me that the schedule, because of the crazy schedule that's coming in the spring with Memorial Day weekend and how they're going to run the sectionals, and a lot of counties and conferences still have to kind of figure all that out, how it's going to work out.
Yeah, I think they're doing sectionals when they used to have short conference.
Yeah. So thankfully, the schedule kind of forced the state's hand into making the Meet of Champions the date it is, and now we'll have that gap between the Meet of Champions and New Balance Nationals and all the national meets that we had for years, the way we always wanted to stay.
Yep.
Yeah. So we'll get a true Meet of Champions again next year. Thank goodness.
Although I got to say, I mean, even though people weren't there, those who were there showed out. It was a hell of a meet.
It did. And a shout out to Pennsauken. I mean, what a great venue, a great site.
Yeah.
The energy in that place. I mean, they leveled up for the Meet of Champions, and they delivered as a site. And I'd love to go back there for some other big meets. I mean, it was fantastic.
It was
absolutely
super.
Absolutely. And and that's the thing too. It's like we talked about it on our last episode, and it rang true through this outdoor Meet of Champions, where yes, there was a big chunk of the best talent that went to nationals, but we saw state records broken. We saw national level, events happening constantly. The Timber Creek young ladies were just breaking things. We saw the throws. We saw the jumps. New Jersey shows out. And I think
every year,
whoever got smart in NJSIAA, I hope that we had something to do with it, complaining about it. And, it being in everyone's ear, getting a bunch of the greats, Meet of champions in the past and coaches and things like that to talk about it. I'm hoping we had something to do with that because they smart. Because
they definitely heard. They definitely heard. Coaches and fans and the press. They definitely felt that, and I definitely think it definitely had a bearing on their decision. So, and
and the bottom line is the fire is hot right now in track and field.
Oh yeah.
What a better time to sit there and come on and put on a meet in New Jersey at the Meet of Champions, where then you start next week, they can go to nationals, and you look at the times in the events of Meet of Champions, and they might be better than what they did at nationals, right? Like, how many states can say that their state championship is possibly better than New Balance or Adidas or Nike in terms of competition? And obviously it's the best of the best there. So it's going to be, there's arguments, but you keep home a bunch of the individuals that left, especially from this year with, the Union Catholic girls and things like that. And, if we can keep Westfield and CBA really competing in our house, man, what could it have been, right?
Oh my God.
It's kind of a what could have been, and this could have been an all-time great meet, period, in general. Like,
no, it would have been. And those coaches had tough decisions. I talked to a lot of those coaches.
I don't blame them.
I don't blame them either. I don't envy their decisions, nor do I blame them for it.
Mm-hmm. Nope. No, not at all. No, they were put in a tough situation.
Obviously, Westfield made the right call. Nationals and just absolutely crushing it.
To win a national title in a 4x8 and then to come back and break the state record in DMR. You talk about an epic all-time, double. Good for them, and because I know it was a tough decision, that Chris had to make to choose nationals over Meet of Champs. But hey, you got to go for national titles when you have a team like that. You have to go for the big one.
100%.
You'd be insane not to do that, right, Nick? And the thing is,
and kudos to all of those kids for saying, "I want to run the relay. I want to run the big relay with my teammates." That's right. That shows team character, and that's all.
Not just for him as a coach, but also what you did for your athletes, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that is a memory now that those individuals at Westfield, at CBA, as they go on to college, they're going to be able to say what they were able to do in high school at the national level, and it's really cool for them. So I'm really happy that
those guys will be right. They put them right in the Westfield Hall of Fame right now. What they did may never be matched.
No.
It's remarkable, and it goes back to last cross country season. CBA and Westfield battling. Pushing each other, both going to nationals, and they both made each other so much better because they've just raised the bar. We talk about this all the time, and we've talked about it on previous shows. How New Jersey loses so much talent. You think, how are we going to top this? How are we going to come back next year? Oh, it's going to be a drop off. It's going to be a letdown. It never is.
Nope.
Always come back, bigger and better. And we'll get into that, in a little while about it's the CBA team. They lost so much talent from one of the greatest teams of all time, and they on paper are better than they were last year at this time. It's mind blowing that I'm saying that. They ran 15-51 at Homedale last year, and on paper they could blow that apart.
So what's wild to me, Jim, is we're going to be doing this 3 years from now. Okay, the show's still going to be going on, and we're going to be having you on for our segments, and we're going to be going. Paige Shepard's a 2-time national champion. She's going to whatever school she wants, or the big school at the time. How are we going to replace Paige? And then the following year, some freshman is going to come in and is going to sit there and run a freaking sub 1730 at Homedale. And we're going to be like, oh, okay, that's our replacement for Paige. Like, here we are. Like,
it's crazy how it just
what's going to happen.
Keeps coming back.
It could happen. I mean, like I said, the bar's raised, people, and the training. The coaching in the state. It's
get better.
It's at a whole nother level now, and these high school athletes are coached basically like college athletes as far as the training goes, and the year round, the diet, the sleep, everything. That's one of the biggest changes I've seen.
100%.
My many years of being a veteran reporter.
Legendary. We're going. You know what? Actually, I'm switching that. We're doing that right now. It's going to be on the bottom.
Put old. Put old. Old.
No.
Legendary.
I can only disrespect you verbally, but I don't want to put down in writing.
No, but you're right. Everyone just keeps it's just this huge cycle every year, and and I like how it's not it's obviously always CBA and your big school, but there's other schools that keep on finding their way into that top 20. They're new, and there's all these new prep schools popping up here and there that are getting kids. So it's an interesting time because I feel like there's a lot of movement among athletes, and it's just an interesting time that we're in.
When I first broke on the scene, I can really date myself now. You looked at the Homedale course records at the time. 1735 by Janet Smith. This is when I broke in way back when. The 1516 by Jason DeJoseph back in 1988. And the coaches back then talked about it like
it was impossible.
They were untouchable. Because no one had come close. And
I thought so. I remember my freshman year.
In defense, Homedale's a much better groomed course than it was back then. Significantly better groomed.
I remember my freshman year at Group 3 meet, heading into the bowl, and I looked to my right, and Brendan Hefferton's already out. That was the year that he went on to win
thing ever.
To win Kinney. He ran.
That's the year where he lost to Bob Cano at the meet champs,
and then won.
And came back to won Kinney.
Yep.
How many guys have done that? Lost their state championship and then won the cross nationals.
Won that, yeah. But I remember, and I'm a freshman. He's already on the other side.
Yeah, and he was running as great as Hef was. He was in the 1530s at home. 1531,
I think it was his best. Yep.
Yeah,
31.
Yeah.
Yep.
And until Muhammad Kadroui came around from Patterson.
Kadroui was a freak of nature.
But Brendan Hefferton was so much better, and he only got down to 1530. So at that point in the 90s, we're like, no one's touching D. Joseph.
Right.
You just didn't have a mind frame that it was physically possible. It was like you watch guys running 16 flat, and you're like, that's so fast.
And it's crazy, right? Sub 16 used to be legendary. If you were sub 16 at Homedale, you were in an elite class. Mm-hmm. Now it's if you're not sub 16, you're nowhere near the lead pack of chance. It is.
It's crazy.
1530 is the new 16.
Yep.
If you want to look at it that way.
Incredible.
That is kind of the standard now. You win a meet of champs, you basically have to break 1530.
That's the
magic number.
Meet of champs was won in 1607, I think, or 02. It was Chris Robinson from North Hundred.
Chris Robinson. Oh my gosh. There's a guy.
1995.
Yeah, there's a guy. I think he was 5th in Group 3.
Oh yeah, because my teammate Jason Klophouse beat him at a groups.
He did.
And then he won MOC. It was
because there's a very short list of guys who've won meet of champions who did not win groups the prior week, and Robinson is one of the guys that really was on nobody's radar to win that. He might be the biggest surprise winner we've ever had.
But to his credit, groups that year were an absolute monsoon. It was crazy. It was horrible weather. I think it was like 1655, and it was like third place on the day. It was crazy.
Wow.
in the groups.
I'm looking back and trying to figure out
What the heck we're talking about?
No, I'm obviously I know that, but Craig Forries ran pretty damn fast.
Oh, he was good.
Forries. Well, I was going to say,
his sophomore year, he ran a 15:34 sophomore year.
Yeah.
And I think he broke his hip that meet basically. And he had the rehab for the full indoor and came back in outdoor and dropped like a 407 or 408, something stupid.
Well, Kadrui made me believe that the record could go, and he ran 15:21.
I remember that.
Yep.
And then, as you brought up, Alex, Forries came around, and it was obvious, that he was a guy that could make a run at the record. And eventually he got, some people want to call it, he equaled it, because back when DeJoseph ran, they listed his time with 1/10 of a second. It actually came out to 15.
16.
Oh yeah,
16.2 or something, right. But it got listed everywhere at 15:16. Then when Forries ran, there was an argument. You round it up to the full second, and his came out with 1/10 of a second, and there was a big.
That
debate.
Was it even
15-2?
Was it even was it even FAT for DeJoseph?
No, I mean, no, they didn't have FAT. They didn't have FAT, but for some reason, I went to the state association when I was doing research for the teams of the century back in 1999.
Yep.
And I printed out every official result that the state had. Now, they didn't go too deep with results, but they listed, and a lot of times they only listed the winner of a race, and then it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 with no times. But the winning time was listed, and I still have it for DeJoseph at 15:16.2. And I kept saying, where'd that come from? Because it was always rounded to the full second. That's what you did.
I just knew 15:16. That's all.
Yeah.
We know.
Somehow the 15:16.2. If that was on a guy, officials' watches at the line, why wasn't it rounded to 15:17?
Mm-hmm.
So when Forries ran, that was a big thing. Like it came out 15:15.2. Oh, we have to round it up to 15:16. And I remember talking to Don Dancer, the state director for cross country back then. I says, Don, DeJoseph's time is to 1/10 of a second. For record purposes, now you can look at Forries. He's coming out at 15:15.2.
Yeah, he's faster.
Whatever you rule here, it has to be consistent.
Yeah, it really does.
And he said, you know what? 15:15.2, 15:16.2. He broke the record.
Yeah,
that's how Don Dancer ruled it, and that's how it kind of went down. And and that was like I said. From
there, it's been shattered.
Now look where we are. Now look where we are. Now
is when it's crazy that someone's broken 15 minutes.
And I'm looking, and you guys, I don't know if you did this. Is this the one that you did where you're looking at all the past champions, Jim? Because I'm looking at this from the MileSplit, New Jersey. Was this your article? I didn't even look up. You might.
I'm not sure. I know I put that out a few times.
This is you. Yeah, this is you.
You did the past champions.
This was 2022. You did.
Does it say legendary writer?
No, we have to add that. We're going to add that to everything there. Legendary writer.
So, Jim, going into this upcoming XC season, are we looking at pretty much CBA on the boys, Union Catholic on the girls?
Hold on. No. We're not letting them off with the XC right now.
No,
we have to fully go back. Did we go back to the predictions? I think we glossed over the predictions.
No, you made it pretty clear that I was 1 for 5.
We're going to go over them completely.
That was pre-show.
So we're going to go over Jim's predictions. Now, here's the thing. Jim's predictions were not bad ones. And at the time, I go back and listen to it. We pretty much were all agreed that Jim's predictions were going to be pretty damn on point.
And the talent was there for a lot of them to come to.
They all should have happened.
So we're going to go over number 1, the original prediction there. Boys, 2-mile record goes down in 8:44. Now, if Jim would have said the 3,200,
he would have had it.
He would have had it.
Yeah, I meant to say that.
It's a little semantics.
And
he meant 8 laps.
Yeah,
8 laps. I would have done it.
So that's an offer right there.
Okay, we got to talk about how close it was, though.
Listen. I thought you had that one nailed in like the first week of the season.
Yeah.
out at Arcade, I'm like, oh my god, we got Barrett running 8:44, but it was 3,200. But it's still ridiculous.
And once again, we didn't get the matchups. We didn't get Barrett against Luke Pash against Wishoes, and we didn't get the Smile Hammers together.
So that was tough.
If they did get together, I would have got that one right.
And a
probably
lot of those kids ran relays at nationals, so they didn't even go for the.
Yeah.
So there was definitely talent for that to happen, but unfortunately,
it should have happened. They just didn't perform the way they should have.
Well, you know what? We're going to rule like the Diamond League. You didn't get it.
Second prediction. 10 girls go under 210 in the 80s.
Oh, that one bothers me the most.
That one is bothersome because honestly,
that is his crawl there.
That was the one that even I was like, yeah, it's teed up. This should be no problem. There's so many young ladies teetering on 211, 210 right there. We had basically the whole entire Union Catholic team, their future girls, and even the ones that aren't born yet running sub 210. Like that was a shoo-in. How close did we get? What was that? You do?
How many were there? But I meant to say
5 or 6.
I meant to say splits. I meant to say splits included for that. I don't know why.
If we do splits included, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, because the UC girls pretty would have done that for me. They would have put it over the top. I don't know how close because we just didn't get the showdowns.
We did. I mean, even at like short conference and things, like people went different events. It was.
Hold on,
I'm going to give you a half and half on that one because, like you said, if we counted relay splits, then we were in pretty good shape. That's
like saying I ran 1:59.9 because my dad had me. And I broke 2 minutes.
I trust my dad very much. My dad's a great man, okay? My dad can beat up your dad.
Hey, for the sake of clarity and because I'm just driving me crazy, I want to see how close we got here. Hang on, I'm looking it up right now. Let's see, 8.
I'm going to say 5. I don't know.
Yeah, it was like 5 or 6. We got 6.
I mean, there were injuries too, and
oh man,
it's happened. So
we had 6. Then there was a 210, 210, 211, 211. Oh my gosh,
Tim's going to be up sick tonight.
There was 5. Oh, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more girls under 213.5. Oh my god. If they all went to the Meta Champions, or if they could go to the Diamond League Final 800, they would do it.
So we can
Diamond League.
We're going to blame the Meta Champions for not fixing it last year. They should have fixed it last year.
That's who Sid's racing in the Diamond League.
He's racing all those girls.
That's fantastic.
He's doing a New Jersey, like, hey, this is your New Jersey treat for being a Jersey runner. Come get
New Jersey Diamond League. We're going to set up a race.
Actually, it's going to be the girls 4x1 against Sid. So it's going to be the UC 4x1 against Sid doing an open 4. See how close it can get. All right. So let's go to prediction number 3. Ben Shu over 210 in the disc.
So close, Ben.
So close.
What did he hit? What did he hit? Hang on. He was close. He was only. Hang on. 210 was the magic number. God, I want to say he was like 208. Let me say.
And here's the thing. Ben's going to get the record this year, so I think it might cancel it out. I'm calling for Ben getting the record this year. He's going over 218.
Yeah, my bad. 205.4.
Who has the record? Is it still Dane?
Mattis.
Mattis does.
Sam's got the 218.4. Mattis through the GMC relays.
I remember Dane throwing like 215 or 216, and they actually Dane had to move the fence.
Dane was 216.1 at. Well, he broke it twice. He broke it at the Meta Champs, then he went out to
Golden West, maybe Golden West.
Broke it again, yeah.
All right, so we're gonna move on to Heisman hitting 70 in the shot.
Oh darn, he had that. Does it count?
Everyone had it until they didn't for Jim.
I should have added also that they would win the national championship. I would have been half right on both.
The thing is, this is a little bit fun. It's not fun to see Jim in agony, but it is fun to see just how much Jim cares about the athletes. This is less about Jim getting it right and more about him wanting it for these individuals that he's interviewed so many times. He interacts with that basically every meet that he sees them. So but we got the one that you did get right. Girls 4x1. Record being broken. It was a 45-5, the UC girls.
Piece of cake. 45-48 at nationals. Bang. Easy. That was easy. That was the easy one.
That was the easy one. 45-48 was the easy one. 0.02 under, which goes to show you just how great of a record that was, right?
Well, I mean, you had the Montclair girls, the Barber sisters, right? We're on that team?
The Barber sisters, Aaliyah Williams, and the Chantel Coppage. Everyone kind of forgets the fourth leg there, but yeah, they did it the Penn Relays back in
Jim doesn't forget anything.
98.
Can't get a record without 4 people. So
yeah, I said Jim doesn't forget anything. Jim knows it. Jim got it. So you were 1 for 4. I'm giving you like 1.5 for 5. I mean 1.5 for 5. You were 1 for 5, so you're getting the 1.5 there because if we count splits, I'll give it to you. It's Dad's hand timing. We're gonna call it the Dad's hand timing. So
I'll take it. Round it up.
So after we talk about XC outlook, we're gonna get some XC predictions too. So I'm gonna make sure we got those down.
Oh, don't worry, I'm ready for those.
Yeah, I know you're always ready for XC.
Oh, these are a slam dunk. I'm gonna go 4 for 4 on these.
Okay.
So we're gonna go. Let's start off cross country New Jersey. You already hinted at it. CBA potentially coming back stronger. Curious where Westfield is going to bounce back as a public school. Still really strong. Coach Shafelsky still has a good crop of guys. We forget that a ton of those guys that were a part of these DMRs and 4x8s were underclassmen. It wasn't like it was all seniors. So you're coming back with a ton of experience in big races there. Cherokee is Cherokee.
Haddonfield.
Always strong. Haddonfield
always good.
So let's start on the men's side. Team-wise, individual-wise, who should we look out for on the returning side of things?
Well, I mean, as we talked about earlier, I mean, it CBA is head and shoulders above everybody else in the state. I mean, you guys, I know, saw their time trial.
Yeah.
They broke the 2-mile record at Homedale, the freshman course, 10:21 average, 13 seconds. They broke the record by. Barrett goes 10:06 and breaks that course record. The returning guys from Homedale, about a 16:05 in that range, but the 10:21 suggests that and these guys are fit. I mean, they run 10:21 average, and they were missing a 9:10 got 2-miler. Luke Canat, he didn't race in that, so you put him in the mix, and we could be looking at the greatest team ever in New Jersey history, and a team. I mean, they're coming into the season number 2 in the country. You know, in the MileSplit rankings, they're number 2 in the country, and that's their goal. Their goal every year at CBA is to be national champs, and they were 6th last year. They've been on a podium a million times, and this team could do it. This team has the makings of being one of the all-time greatest teams, not just in Jersey, but U.S. history with the guys they bring back. It's with Barrett at the front. I mean, we've talked about Joe quite a bit. 15:21.
So.
Yeah, I mean 15:21 last year at Homedale.
Yeah.
He comes back after his 8:43 and a 3,200. I know you guys will ask me for predictions on this, and I did a nice profile on Joe a few weeks back, a feature Friday, and I asked him about breaking 15 at Homedale. I mean, that's the magic number. I mean, Cesaric, Rosa, the all-time greats right there, and he feels like it's in his wheelhouse that he can make a run at it, and I mean, CBA, like I said. They should roll this year, meet a champs, Northeast Regional, and a good chance to win it all. And you asked about other teams. Yeah, Cherokee, Ridgewood, they bring back a solid pack. Westfield's always a factor. Lost a lot of guys, but, I mean, Tefelsky's got busloads of guys who'll be fighting out, for top 7 spot. A lot of inexperience as far as cross goes in big spots. But, they should be a factor. Group 4 is going to be crazy as always with Cherokee, Ridgewood, Westfield. I mean, it's always Manalapan. It's always a gauntlet there to get through Group 4. But man, I can't wait to see when Cherokee loads up all the guys together. I'm so excited for Jack Tyndall. I mean, he won 16:55 as an 8th grader at Homedale, and he just ran 9:53 in the Cherokee Challenge in a freshman race.
Yep.
They're going to be a lot of fun to watch. And when they go head to head with Haddonfield, and shout out down there to new head coach Matt Cieslik. I mean, Matt steps in some big shoes by a legendary Nick Baker. I mean, Matt, he led Cherry Hills to a state title. 2014 in Group 4. So the Haddonfield program's in great hands. And I mean, sometimes teams, the top teams in the state get overshadowed. Union Catholic brings back a great group again, and these teams shouldn't be overshadowed or overlooked by CBA, and because CBA's be breaking records. They're going to be, they're just in a different league right now. But pay attention to these other teams. In the top 10. I mean, these are great teams. I'm
excited to see who puts it together that we maybe think can, but does.
Yeah.
there's always a few of those surprise teams where you get a sophomore that's now a junior that maybe was, a 17-minute guy, and now all of a sudden they are consistently sub 16:30 and running low, and they make that pack just so much tighter than you would have thought, right? So there's always those guys that come out and do something special and then enter into that echelon of, okay, CBA is probably going to win, but we're now competing in our group. We're competing. We're like, makes it a much more interesting phase to getting it. Even in the Northeast is huge, right? Yeah. Where you place there is lots of fun. So I'm excited to see.
We are sitting here at this moment thinking that we know how it's all going to go, but there's always some sort of crazy surprise. Whether
last year was the weird year,
whether it's an individual runner,
and they did it.
Well, we always go off previous times. I mean, that's all we have to work with. We're going off of 3,200 meter time.
I was going to ask, how much do you factor in their 32, or do you just go back?
Yeah, you have to factor it in. You have to factor it in a lot 100%. Because so much changes between end of cross country in November and the end of June in track. Guys that weren't really on your radar, all of a sudden they're running 9:15. Guys that are 17-minute guys at Homedale. They come back and they run, like I said, 9:15. So guys make that progression through track, and it doesn't always translate, but it's a good formula to use. Returning Homedale times, returning 3,200 meter times. You kind of have to mix them together, and then we don't see how many miles these guys are putting in the training that they're doing. And like you said, week one we saw names we haven't seen before. 2-minute PRs by guys. You see it all across the board. Like, where'd he come from? Oh, he trained hard. He trained hard. He put in more mileage. He was
in the second group and he started running with the top kid, and now all of a sudden he's like a different level.
I also feel like there's a lot more kids now who take advantage of going to cross country camps than ever in the past. Like there's a lot more running amongst kids from other teams running with each other too. I think
there's a lot more expectation when you get with Cherokee, Haddonfield, Westfield, Manalapan, all these types of groups. When you're joining in, it's not just, we're going to go hit some distance runs and we're going to go goof off. It's, hey, there's a standard. There's an expectation. And like when you're coming on this team, we work. We want to do what they did. We want to have. We want to be better than last year's team. And when you have those standards too, maybe you're pulling a few kids that might have went and played soccer, and the soccer team's maybe not going to be so great. So let's go join that team that's going to win a division, that's going to win a group, that's going to do that. Like the standard gets set, and now all of a sudden it's looking and going, okay, we can be a part of something special as opposed to just be a part of a team. So
I guarantee you, we're going to see stories. We're going to see stories this year about guys the guys that ran cross country for the first time last year, and the switch went off. Oh my gosh, I'm way better at this than I ever thought.
Yep.
And then they pour all their passion. They run indoors for the first time, outdoors, and then they become committed to the sport. And then they put in the training, the first real big, block of training in the summer, and then they get a base for the first time. It's like, where'd this guy come from? Well, he was always there, but he cranked out 60 miles a week, and he moved himself up in the pack. And there's stories like that everywhere. Guys that give up another sport, and and like you said, I mentioned Cherry Hill East as another team, and Group 4 that's going to be a top team. That's a top team coming back.
Group 4 is such a gauntlet.
Yes.
I mean, now with you mentioned. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Dave.
You mentioned Barrett earlier. What are some other individuals that you're, and are there any that are going to surprise people? Like you. Yeah, well, like we're talking about with the team. That jump from the. Yeah, I mean, like we're talking about with the teams. There's going to be a guy we're not thinking about right now. There's going to be a guy that was, a guy that floated around 16 or maybe a little bit over, who makes that 20, even 30-second drop, and he's in the mix. Who knows who that's going to be? I mean, they're probably listening right now saying, "Hey, that's going to be me. I'm going to be that guy." There's a lot of guys out there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on paper, and that's really all we can go off of right now until we start seeing some results. I mean, Barrett's the clear favorite. Luke Pash, 15:41 at Homedale last year.
You can't discount
what he did on the track. I mean, he's a sub.
Good.
I mean, the stat that I love last year was he's only the third guy to go under 9 for 3,200 and under 405 in a 16. Only 3 guys have done it. Care to guess? Do you remember that story? Did you catch that?
No.
A little trivia for you guys. Who are the two guys in Jersey history in high school broke 4:05 and broke 9?
Joey
Ches?
Rosa and Ches.
1 out of 2.
Right.
No, Rosa didn't get under 4:05.
Was it
Marco
Craig?
Langdon? Someone like that?
No,
What'd
Craig
you say, Dave?
never got under 405.
Marco Langdon?
Mark, boom, got it. Ches and Marco. Yeah, a nice call. Good call
That's
there.
a good call. Marco's a good call. It's a safe bet to say that.
I knew that it had to be recent.
Yeah, that's the kind of talent Luke Pash has. So
Yeah.
I know, I did a profile on him too, and he's looking at it now. He says, "Hey, I know I'm a contender. I know I can mix it up with the best runners in the state and beyond." Hey, you know what? 404 race is close. I mean, his wheels. What we saw him do at the Meet of Champs is that great battle with Peyton Shoot on the track there.
Yeah.
I see Pash right there. I mean, he's gonna drop those times right there. I mean, we could see an epic battle with Barrett and Pash side by side going into the woods. Who knows?
And like you said, there's always going to be someone, like one or two people. You're like, who is? I didn't see this coming. Like someone who's good, but they just take the next step, or like someone who's. Because there are some people who just are better in cross country that just run better in XC than they do on the track, whether it's
a guy last year we didn't talk about when we did this preview before the cross country season was Clay Stevens from Manalapan.
Yeah,
he's a good fresh, but once again he trained hard. He's got great coaching. He put it all together, and bang! Now he's a guy that should be a top 5 guy in Meet of Champs, a guy that should be a contender for every major title. And Brendan McMahon from Ridge, another guy. He opened up his season with a big win at Roxbury the other day. He's another guy that should be right up there. But there's guys.
Are there any
we're not even talking about now?
Are there any freshmen on your radar that we should be talking about that are coming in doing special things already, and that we should look to jump in and maybe be mixing it up with some of these big dogs by the time we're getting into the Meet of Champs groups? There's always a few freshmen that jump in there.
It's so much harder, I feel, on the boys' side to really have that huge impactful.
That's why I'm putting it on to Jim to do it, because he's the expert.
Well, obviously, you're not going to get
a freshman in the top 10 at the Meet of Champions.
Massive.
Slattery, I think Slattery did it, right?
Slattery?
He was close if he wasn't.
I got to look, but Slattery's like the only guy to 4 times be in the top 20. He could be. I got to look that up. That's a great stat. I'm glad you brought that up. But Slattery is one of those guys that maybe one of few guys that was
maybe.
Mooch his sophomore, definitely the last 3 years, his sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah.
But Rosa,
I'm just trying to think of guys that were really good.
Joe Rosa. I mean, Rosa missed his senior year. Everyone forgets that he ran. What's that?
It's just you don't see it as much on the.
It's hard. The development is just different.
Yeah.
But that being said, Rosa. I mean, he ran his 14:56 when he broke the course record at Homedale. He was a junior. A lot of people forget that.
He was junior.
And he missed his whole senior cross country season. He had surgery on his foot. I mean, what would he have dropped that to? But to answer your question, Alex, we mentioned Jack Tyndall from Cherokee.
Yep.
Obviously, the 16:55 as an 8th grader. He ran He ran a mile, he ran 4:17 mile, I think, around there. But someone that I wrote about a few weeks ago is Will Van Etten, Del Barton. He's one of the top freshmen coming in this year. He joins a very strong pack at Del Barton. He's a 2-time state middle school champion.
Yeah.
So that's a guy that you're gonna see make a big impact. Like I said, who knows where he fits into the Del Barton pack? It's a very experienced, good pack. You can't put too much on these freshmen to lead these packs, but it takes time. It takes time to see the times drop for freshman boys. I mean,
it does. It does. It's a different animal. So I want to move over to the ladies now. Let's start off at the top. Who you looking at returning wise? Who
team wise
first, returners, right? Team wise first returning, and then individuals returning.
Yeah, well, I mean, much like the boys. I mean, Union Catholic is head and shoulders above everybody. I mean, they ran at 18:37 average at the Meet of Champs, destroying the course record average. I mean, come on,
that's fast.
I mean, 18:37 hours. How many girls have run 18:37 at Homedale, let alone a team averaging that?
That's a good time at Lagosha County Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of Ocean County Park, watch out because UC is going to break out this Friday at the Battle at Ocean County Park.
Ocean County Park.
I looked up the course record average at OCP is 18:16.
Fast.
Considering
did it.
it's basically a track.
I would have guessed Southern.
OCP is essentially a track on grass.
I would have guessed
okay.
Southern, but Colts Neck also makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm very interested to see just how fast they run there. Now, obviously, they're class races, so you just got to take the time from the different races and get the time that way. But the sophomore races don't want to watch. I mean, most of the Union Catholics packed. They're sophomores.
That's insane to think about.
Yeah, they're going to drop by. I mean, that course record average of 18:16. When you add up the top 5 times, there's a good chance that goes down. I mean,
what's the leaving early from high school rule? Is someone going to Maurice Claret and try to get to the right away? And that's a name to throw out for any of the football.
Yeah, that's a good one. But I like that. But yeah, I mean, they're a team. Just like CBA on paper. They can be even better than last year. They lost great runners in Peyton Hollis and Courtney Kaiser. But like I mentioned, the sophomore class, Paige Shepard, obviously she's the leader of the pack. She's the top runner coming back. She is really fit. And, she ran 17:54. Oh, boy, battery low. 17:54 at Homedale last year. She's someone we can see when we do predictions and things that could get in that 17:30 or faster range at Homedale. She's that fit and that good. Sophia Thompson, you didn't see a lot from her in cross country last year, but you saw what she did on a track going sub 210 on the 834 national championship team.
We lost Jim.
Jim.
His battery died on him. Oh no, we were getting so many good things. So we'll hang out for a little bit.
He'll be back. Yeah. No, but he has very good insight. It's definitely going to be tough to take down CBA and Union Catholic. They're just.
People are going to scoff at it too, right? Because they have the benefit of recruiting, but you know what though? It also comes with building your program, right? Because my thing is, why aren't a bunch of other private and parochial schools at the same level, right? There's a standard that they uphold, and it's something about being a part of something special. And it's similar to what I said with the public schools, where you're going to see kids that maybe could have been okay players at football, okay players at soccer, skill players, and boom, here they are. Okay, maybe I'll go try XC for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And now they come in, and like Jim said, they've never put in mileage before. They've never done the same type of programs that, we want to see that they do at the cross country. And all of a sudden, even if the kid goes out and gets a base of 40 miles a week and they've never done mileage ever, now they're starting to race and they're starting to get coached up, and it's a complete different story.
And you said it, I don't think that people realize how important culture is. That's what brings people to your team. That's what brings everyone out, is having that culture. Lambert will be back. He's getting a plug.
We have to tell Jim, I love his setup, but his setup is so much better if there is an electrical outlet and a socket.
You mean a plug?
To it. A plug, get a socket next to where you set up. I make sure to design around here. My laptop's plugged in because I don't want that to happen.
But then we wouldn't have these moments on a live podcast.
This is the second time in a row that we got a Lambert special. First, it's him tripping over the kitty litter box and then going to save a rabbit last year from
his dog.
Cat. It was his cat. He had a rabbit in its mouth and he had to save a rabbit. And now this year he gets the alarm, does not respond at all, and then it responds like the computer does and dies. Who's surprised that after the computer told him it was about to die, that it died?
The best.
Oh man, we don't get any better than that at all.
I'm definitely curious to see where he keeps going with these prediction on the
just with the outlook. Yeah, I want to see who else he breaks down besides Union Catholic, because that's the thing. And here he is. He's back.
It had nothing to do with my cats this time, I swear.
No, here's the thing. You off-screen tripped over everything and saved the rabbit. This happened off-screen this time.
Yeah. This time I fell down off camera. I made sure.
So here's the thing, Jim. Yeah. Is there not an electrical outlet near your setup?
Oh, there's outlets everywhere. This is just. I thought to myself, I got an hour and a half charge. It'll be enough.
We are going to make sure that your computer is plugged in on the next episode.
I wanted to see if I could beat my split time from last time this happened.
We don't need any more of your cat killing animals.
So let's continue. So you were talking about, the Union Catholic ladies and how good they are. And obviously they're going to be studs. They lost, but they're coming back potentially like CBA, right? They may be coming back stronger after losing what we assume to be, so much. Where else are we looking, though? Now maybe the second tier, the teams may be competing for that second place there.
Yeah, I mean, I'll finish up my thought on Union Catholic. This is a team that could definitely get on the podium at Nationals. I mean, that's their goal. They got a taste of it last year. Didn't have a great race at Nationals. A lot of things played into that. But, I forgot to mention Kaylee Kaiser's back, a sophomore. I mentioned Sophia Thompson, sophomore. You have, obviously, Paige Shepard, sophomore. Ella Solorzano, junior. Emmy O'Hearn, junior. Kayla Devine, another sophomore. So, I mean, that's their core group coming back. And like I said, 1837 at Holmdale's, I think they're going to crush that. I mean, which is
Shepard. Insane. That's so insane.
What's that?
That's insane that they're going to crush 1837.
Yeah, I mean, when you can front load it with Shepard going whatever 1730 or faster, right. And then you throw in Kaiser and Thompson, that should be they could be low 18s. That's what adds up to a record. But yeah, it's crazy to talk about it like that. But they're just that good, and like I said, we'll get a taste. We'll see on Friday at Ocean County Park. Get a little sneak preview of what they got. But answer your question, Alex. Yeah, the next, the best of the rest. Ridgewood girls, Pingree. I'm trying to think who we had in that top. Frio Township. I mean, give Todd Briggs a lot of credit there. I mean, he lost one of the best runners in recent years. Zawatsky, I see them as a top 5 team and being right there to contend for a Group 4 title. Westfield, there's Frio Township, Middletown, Princeton. There's a lot of teams between that 2 and 10 that are really tight. A newcomer pops on a team. It's going to be fun to watch because there'll be a lot of movement, I think, in the rankings there behind Union Catholic as we look to see who the second best team in the state is this year.
So Jim,
go ahead, Dave.
I want to ask you, the qualifying process in the Meet Champs is kind of it's changed a lot over the years. So now I believe it's just your 6 group winners and then only 8 wild cards. So they're only bringing 14 teams.
I have to look and see if they changed it again, but it was the top 2.
I think it's just
I don't want to get that wrong, but
I just feel
it was top 2 got the auto spots and the rest were wild cards. I'll double check that.
Yeah, I could be wrong too, but my point, I feel like as this changes, the small school bias in me, almost looks at it like if they add more wild cards and take away more auto co-op teams, then they're all going to come from Group 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's where it comes from, and the coaches always complained about it when it was the top back when it was used to be the top 3 went.
Yeah.
And then you'd have the third place non-public B or the non-public and the group Group 1 third place team. They'd go to the Meet of Champs. The Group 4 coaches would go crazy because they know that they're probably the 12th best team in the state, but didn't go.
So I'm reading right here as teams. Here I'll actually do this, and
it's still a top 2 auto, and the rest are wild cards.
Were you just looking it up?
No, but that's what it was last year, and I didn't think it changed.
Yeah, let's look at it. So we'll give a nice look-see here.
No, I mean, listen, I don't mind the changes. I think it's good that you get the best of the best. I myself have a small school bias from coaching this.
I
do get it.
To qualify for Meet of Champs, the team, all 6 group champions will automatically qualify. And 2, all non-qualified teams will be merged. The top 8 schools
so don't take it 14
after the merger by team score will advance to the meet of champions. All ties will be broken by the 6th runner rule.
I don't like that.
So it's a merged thing. So you're going to get mostly Group 4. It's going to get a whole bunch of Group 4.
Yeah, I mean,
only one group winner. I mean, I don't know. I don't think 14 teams is nearly enough teams to go to the meet of champions.
Now, for the individuals, be in the top 10 fastest runners in each group and be the next 30 individuals with the fastest times across all groups and not already qualified via their teams.
Right.
So you're getting 30 more wild cards. You're getting top 10 from each group. So that's already a good amount here. So 10, 20, 30.
You got plenty
40,
of individuals.
50,
it's the team qualifying.
60. Yeah, but I mean, listen, there is a big bias there. There is a huge bias. And again, this is exactly what I talked about. Where
not only that though, but like you want like 14 teams, like you're going to tell the 15th team in the whole state that they can't run meet of champions. That's crazy to me.
You want, and that's the thing. They always talk about making it more
at least
fair
20
for the smaller schools, right? That is one of the big things. Make it fairer for the smaller schools. This does not make it fair for the smaller schools. Like that's one of the reasons. And here's the thing: I had my tinfoil hat on last year about New Jersey secretly wanting to do away with mocks. I mean, what's the thing here? All we're going to hear is clamoring from Group 1 and especially 2, 1 and 2. They're going, "What the hell?" Basically, our champions got in.
I don't mind the having like 1 or 2 winners, but I mean, you can't have 14 teams. Like, I mean, Jim Lambert had the top 20 for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot over the years. There used to be no wild cards, and it was the top 3.
Top 3 from each. So that's how it was when I was in school for years.
And you know what I liked about that was when you're meeting with your team in the summer and you're training, and you're a small school, you can put that out as a goal to be a top 3 team in Group 1 or whatever group you're in. And I miss that. The celebrations the small school would have for finishing 3rd. We made the meet of champs for the first time in school history. That was their goal since summer training began, and to watch that's gone. That's gone.
Right. Now the team who gets second in group 2 is like, great.
But I do
like how they have the best of the best. I do like that aspect.
Yeah. I was going to say I do also feel that the meet of champions should have the best teams on the line.
Yes.
I think there's a better way. I don't know what that is right now.
But only
I'd say maybe not top 3, but top 2 would be more fair.
I'm thinking top 2 and then 10 wild cards.
I don't mind that because I think
top
if you
2, so you get 18 teams.
Top 2 and then 10 wild cards.
Okay, so you got 6 races. You're gonna have 12 teams.
Top 22 teams.
Well, they'll argue that there's no room on the line for that many.
Look at short coaches. They don't have
but the individuals also. You're adding in all the individuals that are there without the team call. Here's the thing.
At least have 20 teams.
So what they're trying to do, if I'm looking at it from my perspective, they're trying to give the individuals that qualify more of a spotlight, right?
They are.
Because the top individuals on the top teams are still going to be there. And if you're a part of one of these smaller group teams, if you're a good individual, you're still going to qualify on time probably anyway. Right. So it's not like you're not going to have. They're looking at it probably as the small schools are all going to get represented anyway.
As individuals,
their top individuals are going to be on the line. So your smaller schools, and I think they might be looking at it going, how often are these second place smaller schools even in the conversation for me to championship?
Well, no, you're 100% right. You look at the results over the years, and I've done it many times, and the last 4 or 5 teams that finish in the team standings are usually
parochial B,
non-public B, Group 1. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I mean, they look at that and they see that and it's like, why are they advancing? The big schools look at it.
We're now taking away.
We're number 10 in the state and we didn't get to run. Are you kidding me?
And also, we're now taking away from some of these possible individual kids, right? Because the more you stack the line, the less you're going to have with the wild cards. Yeah. So instead, you're taking away possibilities from some of these fast individuals from those smaller groups that could. So in a way, I just get it.
I don't mind it. I just think that they need more teams. I don't think 14 teams is enough. I would like to see at least 20 teams.
You're right. There's more of an emphasis the last few years on individual runners instead of teams, and I don't like that part of it. I mean,
me neither.
What's the sport all about? The sport's all about the team.
Yeah.
And here's the thing too. Why the hell on September 9th do we have to go to a podcast? with one of the best reporters in New Jersey that's on top of all of this stuff in track and field. Why are we sitting there on a podcast on September 9th trying to hash this out and figuring it out now today when we're already in XC season?
I'm sure it was
a clarity problem. Maybe at coaches meetings, that's fine, and the coaches know. But this is something fans should also know.
Yeah,
this is something we should know, because then also as fans, now Jim is going to sit there and now start combing through where the individuals are, because now you're going to know, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not worried as much about teams because I know the top teams only, and I could see who the tops are going to shake out. Who are going to be those 30 wild card kids? That's going to be fun as hell towards the end of the season to really start to figure that out. Mm-hmm. But there should be something. I really wish there was a little more clarity from NJSIAA with the track and cross country side when they make these changes. What's the deal for the fans? The coaches know, but it's not the coach's responsibility to let us as the fans know. We should know. So NJSIAA, when you make changes, send a representative onto the show, and we will have them clarify to the world.
Well, you remember what happened a few years ago when there was talk that Meet Champs might, there was really legitimate talk about will the Meet Champs in cross country continue,
which is insane.
Yeah, I mean, because the other sports and what actually, I think this is what's part of it here. What saved it, because there's still not a team trophy. When you go to
that last year,
when you go to the awards ceremony afterwards, the teams get called up and their places are announced, and each runner's given a medal.
Right.
But there's no team trophy anymore, and that's a whole different thing. But there was more of an emphasis on individuals a few years ago when the state was did away with Meet of Champions in how many sports? Tournament of Champions. That's kind of
what got us started 2 years ago almost, Jim, was part of the conversation.
Yeah.
Why we were talking to anyone that was a part of the Meet of Champs or Champions. We talked to Ian Hahn, Steve Slattery, all these greats and some of the great coaches. We got the opinion from Coach McCafferty, from Coach Tefelsky, from, Wilfredo Rivera and things like that. All these great coaches in the state to talk to them about what the Meet of Champs means to them. We talked to Emma. We talked to Peyton. We got these opinions from the athletes, from the
Robbie
coaches.
Andrews said it's still one of his favorite meets.
One of his favorite moments was being there and winning. So it's like we talked to all of these individuals, and that was one of our biggest things that we talked about was to try and save, because when we came on 2 years ago after Worlds, the second Worlds was when that was still a hot button topic, that it was like a possibility the year before that they had just done away with the Tournament of Champions in basketball about 3 years ago. And cross country was on the chopping block there as well. And there was a battle. And I know the coaches went to war.
Oh yeah, they did
keep that. And
there was serious concern, and it was going to be put away. Yeah. And what saved it was the individual part of it. And that's a big reason why they increased the number of individuals going through wildcards, because the other sports, any sport that ended with a team champion at a Meet of Champions or a Tournament of Champions, they were eliminated.
Yeah,
the only sports that continued beyond the group level was because of individuals, like wrestling. Wrestling, you go to like the individual state championship, so that continued there. Yep. Swimming as a Meet of Champions. Yep. No team scoring there. It's individuals. What saved the cross country Meet of Champions was we needed to still crown individual champions in the sport, and they kind of made a little compromise there and said, okay, we'll keep the Meet of Champions. We're going to do away with the quote unquote team champion, even though we all know who the team champion is because the scoring's kept.
And we're taking our trophy.
Yep, we're just not going to hand you a trophy. So, I mean, thank God we still have it, but it should have never happened.
Away from teams. I think eventually we're going to have, it doesn't matter who wins at groups, honestly. I think we're going to be doing the groups in order to decide which 60 individuals, whatever number they decide, toes the line. Mm-hmm. And they're going to do something where top 10 or top 5 are guaranteed to go, and then a wild card system for the best of the rest.
I hope
think that's
they don't
what
get
we're
rid
going to get to.
And team, but I mean, 14 teams that's a joke.
Here's the thing. I agree with you guys.
But it was either that or we'd lose the whole team. So that was kind of the compromise there.
Yes.
In order to not lose Meet of Champs, we have the champions going and the remaining wild card teams. Less teams on the line, more individuals, but we still get a Meet of Champion team winner.
And I do love the team aspect of it. Don't get me wrong. But if the argument is you want the best people out there racing for the trophy, there's almost no reason to do teams, right? Like if we're not crowning a team champion anymore, then yeah, we know it, but it's like you can call yourself. It's like when University of Central Florida called themselves national champions. Were they national champions in football? No, but they went undefeated, right? So it's like you're looking at that where, yeah, we know who the team champion is, but there is no team champion recorded in record anymore. And
I don't like that.
I think that we are going to go.
I don't like it either.
I hate it. Because it's a team sport. Because XC is a team sport.
Yeah.
Right. And the Meet of Champions in New Jersey, it is the greatest. It's the Super Bowl. It is the Super Bowl of all meets. It separates it. We're separated from a lot of other states. Don't do this. We don't play down or run down to one champion. No. Everyone, they stop after. There's 10 different state champions.
I think it was Robbie or someone said that when he went to a college and feel like they're state champion, he's like, but were you really?
Was in Virginia. Like, yeah, when he went to Virginia, he's like, really? Were you though?
He's like,
yeah. You want to be?
Like, I'm an actual state champ. But like other states, they stop at the groups. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, wasn't when we talked to Drew Hunter.
Yeah,
Drew Hunter was like, I wish I could have raced against the top guys in my state. Like we raced against our group, and that's where it ended. And so we are fortunate with that. So I want to jump a little bit back into the young ladies because we kind of branched off there, which I'm fine with. I love all that stuff. Any newcomers on the ladies' side that we should be looking out for? And I actually have a name for you once you round it up if you don't mention her.
Is it the girl that goes to Lynch's school?
Yeah. Will you stop it? Why do you do this? Let me say it. Go ahead.
You might have me on this one, a newcomer. Like you talking about like a transfer? You talking about a freshman? I mean,
freshman. I'm talking about freshmen. Which I'm actually going to get your opinion on the transfer stuff too, because I want to talk about that after. Real quick.
I mean, obviously, there's some movement around there, but top freshman girl, you got me there. Top freshman girl in the state.
So I got a name, Leah Starkey from Ocean.
Oh, Starkey, yes.
Leah Starkey. She was sub 5 minutes last year as an 8th grader, and. Looking this week, according to Lynch, hopefully she's doing a 2-mile race this week, and hopefully to break 11. That's the goal for her, to come out and break 11. So
she's running at OCP?
Yeah, as far as I know, she's running a 2-mile over there. So we'll see. So that Leah is someone that Lynch is Coach Lynch over there is really looking to, work with Liv there, work with Olivia, and really do some great stuff and propel Ocean into another. Obviously not vying for a championship, but a team now that is very interesting when you start to get to the state level, as you see what those two could do together.
Yeah, nothing better than new talent coming in, and then you build a team around them, and then bang, they're contending for big titles and stuff. That's
so awesome. You mentioned Paige. Who are some other individuals that we are really?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
we have like
Lilia Gordon from Northern Burlington. She's been
who I was going to mention.
State champ the last couple of years in Group 3.
Yep.
I mean, on paper, she's the next best girl coming back. Maeve Smith from Ocean City had a great opener at Cherokee Challenge. Sophia Day.
Yep. Past guest. We love Sophia's awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Lilia as well.
There's a few more girls coming back, but I mean, how many girls can push Paige Shepard? I mean, like I said before, she can run 17:30 or faster, and there's not too many people who have ever done that. So,
how many girls do you think we're looking at sub 19? Because I think you said there's like 6 coming back. 19.
See how many we have last year?
I think you said 6 in your article.
6 coming back that broke 19. We'll beat that. Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, that was your same response to the 10 girls under 210. So, is that a prediction?
Yes, it is.
Girls,
okay.
Down.
Double digits.
Yeah.
Oh, double
digits. Forget about 9, 8 or 9. I'm going right to 10. Minimum.
I would agree easily.
Minimum 10.
Girls under 19 at Homedale or under 19 in general?
Homedale. Got to do Homedale.
You can't count like Ocean County Park.
Hey, listen, I got to get the specifics.
You'll have all of Union Catholic doing it this
I need
Friday.
The specifics, okay?
Oh, actually, yes, because he didn't say 32 last time. So.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's right. I mean, Jessica Abbott, another one that is going to be a factor. And, you talked about people on the move and transfers. Obviously, she's moved on from Toms River North over to Manalapan, which really vaults them up. We put them in our first top 20, but they could rise really quick. Depending on how the rest of the runners returning from Manalapan do. But that's a team that you can find themselves in the top 10 very easily. I mean, I should have mentioned this before. I mean, the A North in the short conference is loaded.
A North
And,
is insane. Yeah, yeah.
We'll get a little taste of that tomorrow. They have the A North Championships at Homedale tomorrow. I know McCafferty's he's running a lot of his guys there. They got Coltsneck in there, Manalapan, so that's a big early race, and not used to seeing that. This early in the season, and then
it's a little wild this early to do that, but it's cool to see. It's great to see. That competition right there.
The one thing I completely whiffed on earlier is, CBA's tri meet on the 18th of this month.
That'll be 400, right?
Yeah, that'll be 400 to get both of those wins. Who do they have that day? They have Southern and Point Borough, maybe. Yeah. So So just something else to keep an eye on coming up. 400. Haven't lost since 1973. It's the 50th anniversary.
It's just hard now because there's just not many dual meets that are left.
No.
And are they taking their divisional meet and are they scoring it as all dual meets or are they counting it as a championship meet?
No. The divisional meet tomorrow. No, they're at 398 right now. So the tri meet will give them.
That's exciting.
We'll give them the other two. So
400. Jeez.
Yeah. Like you said, it's hard to build that up now because you don't have back in the day. You would have dual meets every week.
Every week on Wednesday, and then you would race on Saturday.
Here's the thing: since they did away with dual meets, they should start counting the big division meets as dual meets.
Well, no, some of them do. Some of them take out. This is how you did against this team. And
the batch meets. They score it out differently.
It should count that way because if you're not going to do dual meets, but you're going to have a division championship, then it should be counted for the teams individually. Like if you're keeping something for like CBA for that purpose, then that's the way that should be counted. All right, so let's get to the fun stuff. Let's do we're going to do 3 or more. How many predictions do you want to do this?
I don't know. 10. I'm going 10 for 10. As many as you got.
Okay. So
I'm going to make up for outdoors.
So we did double-digit girls under 19 at Homedale. That's number 1.
I think that's an easy one. That's
210 was easy, and so was the boys.
Lock of the year. Lock of the year.
We would have to get. The only thing that we can't factor in is, and this would just be Jim's luck.
Forget the weather.
Just like horrible weather for
I don't care.
3 weeks.
10 girls could break 19 in Homedale in the snow.
Agreed.
Okay. So what's prediction number 2? Give me something.
Can we say that your predictions are Barrett for the boys and Shepherd for the girls?
Barrett winning and Shepherd winning.
Okay.
Yeah, but we got to take it a step further there. We have to go times there. I've been talking about the 15. I've been talking about the 15-minute barrier.
Is he going sub 15? Barrett wins in sub 15.
I think Joe Barrett is breaking 15 minutes. Yes.
I'm going Pash in 15:02.
Wow.
You got Pash winning meter champs in 15:02 over Barrett.
I do.
Okay.
But I could be I don't know what I'm talking about, so I could be way wrong.
Oh, we going Shepherd in sub 17:30?
100%.
Okay.
Take it to the bank. Throw it in the freezer. Stone cold lock.
Oh, Jesus. I like these. So give me some. So, okay, let's get some.
I got one for you.
You got
CBA also goes well under 1550 average and takes down at Homedale Park course record.
15.
Dude, the Unique at the girls go sub 18:25.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because if I'm giving Shepherd,
that's bold, man.
If I'm giving her sub 1730, I'm dropping. She ran 1754 last year when they went 1837. So, and Sophia Thompson, watch out for Sophia Thompson. He was banged up last cross country season last year, but she's right up there at the front of their pack, and it's going to really. And Kaiser and like I mentioned before, and Divine.
Jesus. So what? So right now we got 5.
The whole team's back. They have no seniors in that top 7.
Well, I guess Hollis, right?
Hollis graduated.
Yeah, but she was the only one who was not back.
Top 7 wise.
When they lost Hollis and Courtney Kaiser, the current group now they don't lose anybody. So we'll be having the same exact conversation a year from now about breaking the course record again.
How many boys under 15:30?
That's a good one.
Dave, will you let him make his predictions? You're just like feeding him predictions.
I thought he wanted us to ask him.
He'd let him make
we'll take it a step further. We'll just name them. It's good. Barrett, Pash, McMahon.
McMahon.
We got 4.
Barrett, Pash, McMahon.
1530 is fast. It's fast.
1530 is a tough number. Yeah.
That's my language.
I don't know if I got a fourth.
So right now we're sitting at Barrett, Pash, and McMahon. Do you think that's it? Just 3?
I'm going with 5. I don't know who they are.
I like how Dave tries to do his own predictions. These are Jim's predictions, damn it.
I know.
Clay Stevens, he ran fast last year.
Are we including Stevens in there? Are we making this?
I like Clay.
Yep. Throw him in there. Clay.
Barrett, Pash, McMahon, and Stevens, sub 1530 at Homedale.
Clay, I believe in you, bro. Go get it. Go get that number. I know you're watching.
All right. So right now that is 6 predictions. Do you want to do any more? Or are we happy there? Anything super bold. The 1530 is bold, but something incredibly bold that probably won't happen, but has an outside chance at happening. That you're willing to, put nothing on the line to make a prediction on this podcast.
I'll put it all on the line because I know it's going to come back at me either way. I'm not going to back down from it. Something I think that could happen.
I'm going to pull a Dave here. I'm going to ask a good one. How many freshmen in the top 10 combined men and women?
None.
No freshmen for the boys or the girls in top 10?
Top 10 freshmen. No.
None? Okay. So we won't even do that one. Oh, actually, that could be a prediction.
That doesn't mean that Jack Tyndall's not going to go under 16-20 at Homedale. It's just that loaded.
It's hard.
I'm putting that in there. No frosh in the top 10 boys or girls. So we'll make sure we look at that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. There's another one that's going to be a good one. I should have looked this up before we came on.
We got Jim's mind working. I love it.
Yep. Hang on.
This is why we bring him on. This is what.
Hold on. This one. No matter what it is, I'm going to say he's going to break it. I just have to find it.
Oh boy, this is terrifying.
I think he's looking. What are you looking for? Like the freshman Homedale record?
Flores had it. Rosa.
Isn't it crazy that I knew what he was looking for?
Yep. What it?
Fours run like a 1540 something.
No,
not as a soft.
Freshman.
Wait a second.
Freshman.
Pretty sure he broke 16 as a freshman, or he was right underneath it.
No, Rosa broke it. Hang
on. Either way, it's crazy. But
it is insane. They go sub 16 as or anywhere near 16 as a freshman. Homedale's insane.
I meant to look this up.
This. I remember when breaking 18 as a freshman was good.
Breaking 18 as a freshman in Homedale is still really freaking good. Don't let anyone ever tell you it's not an elite thing to do as a freshman going sub 18.
It's not anymore. It's just
I don't care who thinks that. It is true.
It's the reality.
Absolute feat that is difficult. Don't let anyone take that away from you.
No, I didn't say it was easy, but it's not. It's just so common now.
So while Jim is looking that up, I want to thank everyone that's watching so far. On X, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are, we appreciate you all as always.
Oh, absolutely.
You get to see the mind of Jim Lambert working if you're watching right now, so we appreciate that.
The old mind's not working as quick right now as it should.
No, the old one isn't, but the legendary minds can.
We can always do an addendum. You can come back and give us that prediction afterwards, and we'll let it down.
I think I'm pretty sure it's Forese's 16-15 that he ran.
Okay. So you're saying Tyndall's going to go under that?
You know what? Actually, I'm going to see if I can figure out a way to get in touch with Craig, and I'll see if Craig can give us the number from his mouth.
Why don't we just say?
We'll talk to Daniel. I'll talk to Danielle Toro, who we had on the show, and see if he can hook us up with Craig to find out what his number was.
Why don't we just say 16-15? Put it there.
That's what he ran, and I did anybody go fast?
So
I'm sticking with that. That's one of my predictions. Is that's the record?
16-15 is that he's going to go under 16.
So which one
I got Jack Tyndall breaking the Homedale Park freshman course record.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 16-15 by Forest in 03.
That's so fast. Jeez.
That's it. I mean, it was so much fun. I do have to say, and I talk about Craig a good amount because he was in my class. It was so much fun being next to him, but then also watching the guys that were like there as well. Kajuri was there as a senior when I was there as a freshman. And then we also had Dan Bingham. We had Dahl from Raritan. We had so many different fast people that were just there and doing so many freaking special things. Mm-hmm. And Fories was in every single. Chris Harrell from CBA was an absolute monster as well. It was just Chris or Ben. Ben was good too. They were both good. The Harrell boys were both really fast. So, I mean, it was fun to just see what Craig was able to do over 4 years. And then even at Michigan, being there and doing the great things he did, eventually going over to the steeple and having a shot at making the Olympic team there. It was fun to just watch Craig's career.
He is a legend.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about the maturity and how tough it is as a freshman boy coming in to make a huge impact, to be a top 10 guy in the state. It just doesn't really happen. But Fories came the closest. Like, no sophomores ever won meet a champs.
Really?
For boys. But Fories' sophomore year, he was second. Bobby Papazian.
Gil St.
I think it was 15:39 to about 15:53 or something, about 14 or 15 seconds. And after that, then Craig just owned the state after that and won the next two. But it's hard. It's hard to make an impact as a sophomore. I mean, sophomores get in the top 10.
That's a crazy stat that a sophomore has never won the boys meet a champ the next day.
No one's won 3 in a row.
And I think it has to do with the maturity thing too, because like you'll see sophomore boys as they start to get to outdoor, start to do some special stuff, because that's when things are kind of kicking in. They're getting to be 16 years old, and it's a different maturity level there. And then they start to take off. But you're a 15-year-old boy basically still as a sophomore. That's tough competing against 17 and 18-year-olds already there. So I get it. So, all right. So last thing that I want to ask you.
More predictions? What do you got?
No, before we get out of here, what do you think about the transfer rule, where every kid gets a free transfer now?
One transfer, unless you're a senior. Seniors got to sit.
At least you got a senior, you got to sit.
I mean, I've seen the transfer rule change so many times over the years. I see the positives. I see the negatives. It comes down to this for me. Yes, does it tip the scales? I mean, you can get a group of runners or a group of basketball players, whatever sport it is, and completely change the landscape over a couple transfers. It could make all the difference in the world. You don't want to see super teams built. This isn't pro sports, free agents and things. But I keep going back to this. Every student athlete and every parent should be able to send their son or daughter to the school they think will best help develop them academically, athletically, whatever it is, spiritually, religiously, whatever it is. So I've long been a proponent of that. But like I said, you open up the floodgates to a situation where you could have just mass exodus from schools bouncing around. That's out there. That could happen. But I don't think that anyone has the right to tell a family, a parent, what's best for their son or daughter. I fall back on that. I look at my kids. If my kids were stud runners or thrower, whatever, and I saw the best situation for them academically and athletically, like I said before, I'm going to do what I can to help them any way I can to reach the highest level they can, look and help them become the best they can be. That's what parents do. So I fall on that side of it. And like I said,
it's tough.
People can take advantage of it, and it will happen. Sure. But who is anybody to say that, Alex, your kids can't leave school? They're stuck there, no matter what the situation is. No matter how bad it is for you, and it could be. It's tough. It could be social. I mean, kids transfer for other reasons too. Kids could be.
Right. I mean, we're not talking that though in this standpoint. No, I think it's mostly to do with it's a different time that we live in. You see it college too. I mean, how many high school kids have we had on this show waiting to decide where they go to college because they don't know if their college coach is even going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Emma. I mean,
my thing is
Colorado now. Her coach.
How do you guys feel?
I think for every single reason you name but athletics, it's appropriate. You know what I mean? I think if it's like an academic situation, absolutely. I think if it's a safety situation, social where, there's things going on there, but, I think for athletics, in order to just get an athletic leg up, I think you need to really prove. I think there needs to be a burden of proof for why you are leaving, right? If it's a situation where you're looking at it and, the results speak for themselves, this coach that's been there has not put out a quality, you know what I mean? I think there's got to be a burden of proof to move out.
Yeah, well, that's where you get into the tough part of it. Is like, how do you prove that?
They're going to say it's
they're going to say what it takes to prove that,
to get it done, right?
Yeah.
And here's just make it more difficult for the athletic side, because I feel like the athletic side, there already is a situation. Go parochial, right? Go private, go parochial if you really feel that strongly. Mm-hmm. But that makes it so tough on the public school coaches. You already know you're going to lose to the parochial schools a good handful of kids. But if you're a quality coach, and now all of a sudden you're a good coach, you've proven, but now you have maybe a down year, and you're looking at this one guy or girl that's like, hey, this is going to be awesome. They're going to start to rebuild. How do you rebuild the program, right? In a public school, if those kids are just allowed to go to the powerhouse, they're allowed to do that. So, and I think we're going to see that abused a ton. And it's going to be we're going to see these schools. We're going to now see start roles, right? We're going to see Cherokee. If they don't have a year now where they're top 10, maybe that top kid coming into the pipeline decides to go to Haddonfield, or they decide to go to instead the one that still kept going. And it's, I think
I don't think that's going to. I don't think that's as much of a concern at that level of a program.
Right. It's just
an example.
Like, Tefelsky doesn't lose runners.
No,
I mean, Shackley doesn't lose runners.
No, it's more you're like schools where they don't have a tradition and they have a stud runner. Is that runner going to stay? Now they don't have to. And is that fair? Is it not? I don't know.
It's a tough thing.
To me, I just think back to my high school time, and there's nothing that I wouldn't have done for my teammates. I don't care if we were terrible. Like, those were my guys. Those were the guys that I want to go to battle with every single day. I could not have imagined, like if I was at Townsend South saying, because I could have went to North or East or South because my mom taught at North, but I was like, no way. I feel like is that gone? Are people more just looking out for themselves and is it what's best for me?
That's it. They're looking out what's the best situation for my son or daughter.
I have 6 other teammates that I've gone to, that just doesn't matter anymore. I
think it does matter to a lot of kids. It does, but for some it doesn't. I mean, it's just going to be a case by case thing, and like I said,
then you wonder how much of it is it the kids, or is it all the parents' influence? You need to go to college, you have to go, you just wonder, it just seems like it's putting so much pressure on these kids that they already have in life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, high school is almost being treated like college, in some ways.
We're going to have NIL soon in high school.
It's a very interesting
like you said, Dave, it's a different time, and parents are different. Everything's different.
Listen, I'm not for it or against it. I do miss that, these are my guys, or these are my, this is my team. We're going to go through battle. I'm not just going to jump ship when something doesn't go right. And that's kind of how it looks. It could not be that way. There's an individual case, I'm sure, for each person, and I'm sure that they're doing what's best. But, we don't know that. Just looking at it, I miss this is where I live, that hometown pride. I'm not leaving. This is where I live. Come and get us.
See, people on the outside looking in will just think, they're transferring there. It's a better running school, without knowing the backstory.
Correct.
Who knows? Like you said
100%.
before, who knows what a kid's going through?
Correct.
And it could be several factors.
Yeah, and
on a surface, it's going to look like they transferred for basketball. Right. They transferred to a better program. That's what it's going to look like to people watching outside.
That's what we can just talk about, how we perceive it, but we will never know the reality. And
they have to do a press conference. If they transfer,
they have to come out talking in ovals.
Needs to go up there and do a press conference.
They have to come out talking in ovals.
Referenced by the great Jim Lambert, who does investigative research.
Legendary Jim.
Veteran,
the veteran legend, man.
Listen, I think perfect world, everybody would stay where they were, but that's never been the case, and
the world just will never be perfect, right?
Man, and we're so close.
And here's the thing:
if the world was perfect, Sydney would be running in the 200 and 400 in the Diamond League final.
Yes,
if the world was perfect, Sydney would be competing every week. Okay. Anyway, so we're
this is awesome, guys. This is awesome. You got me all fired up, man. I can't wait. Ocean County Park, you going?
Now, listen, Jim is getting off this, and Jim, I expect a text within either tonight or early tomorrow with the actual freshman course record.
Yeah, and we're going to sit there.
As soon as he gets off,
the text is going to say, I was right before. The old legend, the old veteran.
The old legendary guy got it right.
You'll be getting a text. I got to go for a run now. I'm so jacked up. I got to go run around a block.
All right, so everyone, he is the great, legendary, veteran, old reporter, Jim Lambert, reporting for New Jersey MileSplit. Go find him on X at Lambo2126, Instagram, jim.lambert.2126. Go find New Jersey MileSplit on X at NJ MileSplit and also on Instagram at NJ MileSplit there. So you can find us. Oh, before we go, I do want to mention this. Our buddy Jeff Benjamin, they are doing their semi-annual gala on October 30th, their Legends Dinner.
Dinner for the master.
Yep, their Legends Dinner, Legends Gala. They're going to have a ton of legends there. Go look out for that. I know that they're always looking for support, so go look up Staten Island running there. And
just announced, Jim Spivey is going to be there.
Jim Spivey will be there.
One of my favorite guys.
Breaking news.
Jim Spivey. Bob Beeman is always there.
Dixon.
There's a ton of
Matty Centrowitz Sr.
Yes. Yeah, so it's loaded to the gills. If you're a fan, there's always tickets available. If you don't know how to get to it, go look up Staten Island Running Association or go look up Jeff Benjamin because he will guide you. He's a fantastic guy, and there's always tickets available to go be a part of the gala. So definitely go make that a priority. And if you like what you heard today, we appreciate everyone that watched. If you are watching, go subscribe. Give us a like. A like goes a long way. If you're on X, give us a follow. Share this. Facebook, go find our page, all that good stuff on all the socials at Talking in Ovals. And we'll be back next week. We're excited as always. I'm going to lock these predictions in a vault so I don't have to listen again because my phone died and I almost lost them. But we got them back. We're going to see.
NJXC. Let's go.
NJXC on, everybody. Go get your PRs. See you around the trails. And, hey, Clay Stevens, Brendan McMahon, Joe Barrett, Luke Cash, go get the sub 1530. I'll make it worth your while. You got to make me look good here. Hey, I just can't wait to see you guys run. Talk to everybody at the races and just the best season of all. Here we go, Ocean County Park. If you're there, come see me. I'll be wearing this. I'll be the old veteran reporter. You can't miss me. But,
Cherokee,
have a good time, guys.
We appreciate you guys over there, Cherokee. You guys are a fantastic program. So we appreciate you guys.
Jack
Tyndall, go get that. Hey, Jack Tyndall, go get that freshman course record at Homedale, 16:15. You got it, Jack. Go get it, bro.
All right, everyone. We appreciate you all for listening. We will be back next week. It's always a marathon with Jim. So I'm expecting 2 hours to be like the low point. But anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We'll be back next week. So long, y'all.
See you guys.